The episode kicks off with a sharp rupture in the sense of stability that had been built up until now. Jackson, once a symbol of safety and community, becomes the epicenter of an unexpected attack. The trigger is simple. Abby steps onto a patch of unstable ice, the ground gives way, and the noise draws a horde of infected. A random accident sets off absolute chaos. Unlike in the game, where this attack is only mentioned, the show chooses to bring the invasion on screen. And there's a clear purpose behind that: to heighten the sense of danger and reinforce the constant instability that defines the post-pandemic world. The episode takes time to deepen Abby's perspective, introducing her emotional journey through a dream sequence. In it, she sees a younger version of herself, face to face with the moment she lost her father. The show's decision to use this kind of visual storytelling has a clear purpose. It creates room for the audience to understand the trauma behind her actions. Unlike in the game, where hatred for the character is built before any attempt at empathy, the show chooses to reveal Abby's emotional triggers from the very beginning. This approach might soften the initial rejection often felt by players, but it also makes her journey more relatable for viewers experiencing it for the first time. However, this choice comes with a narrative risk. Without a more detailed development of Abby's relationship with her father, like scenes showing them together before the tragedy, the emotional weight of the dream depends heavily on the viewer's personal interpretation. Those unfamiliar with the game might not grasp the full complexity behind her motivations. Still, the series does a solid job conveying the pain she carries. The Abby we see in this episode is driven by a thirst for revenge that pushes beyond any rational limits. And that emotion isn't just shown through dialogue or flashbacks, it's embedded in her actions during the attack and in how she processes her grief. Joel's death is the most impactful moment of the episode, not only because it's expected by those familiar with the game, but because of how the series chooses to portray it. In the adaptation, there's a key change in character dynamics. In the game, Joel's accompanied by Tommy, while in the series, he goes on patrol with Dina. This substitution shifts the emotional weight of the scene. Dina, being younger and emotionally closer to Ellie, adds a layer of vulnerability to Joel's situation. Another significant detail is how Joel's companions are taken out of the action. In the game, Tommy is violently knocked out with repeated blows to the head. In the series, Dina is sedated with an injection, a more subtle choice that avoids graphic violence, but also softens the tone. The execution itself retains its emotional weight, but adds complexity. Abby hesitates before delivering the final blow, and other members of the group show visible discomfort. This hesitation highlights that the group is not fully united. There is tension and doubt even among the aggressors. Joel, on the other hand, doesn't resist. He understands the situation and faces his fate with a resigned look. The series gives him more lines than in the game, which deepens the emotional resonance and allows Abby's motivations to be conveyed more clearly. The emotional weight of the episode lands almost entirely on Ellie. Joel's death marks the loss of her final link to any sense of stability or belonging. Ellie's reaction is immediate and intense. When she witnesses Joel's murder, she doesn't flinch. Her scream for revenge, "I'm going to kill every last one of you," isn't some throwaway outburst. It's her turning point. The Ellie we knew, shaped by survival and emotional bonds, gives way to someone driven by anger and grief. The episode doesn't soften this transition. On the contrary, it shows that pain will now be the fuel for what's coming next. This moment also firmly places Ellie as the sole protagonist of the season. With Joel gone, every decision, every action, and every consequence now revolves around her. And what drives her isn't a shared goal. It's something deeply personal, taking justice into her own hands no matter the cost. Meanwhile, Tommy remains in Jackson, still unaware of his brother's death. The show doesn't reveal his reaction just yet, but leaves the question hanging. How will he handle it when the truth comes out? Given the strong bond between them, that revelation is bound to set off major consequences. But for now, the spotlight is entirely on Ellie, and on how she begins to turn her grief into obsession. Although it's not the central focus of the episode, the behavior of the infected reveals key insights about the biology of the cordyceps fungus, and how the infection is evolving in this universe. The way the horde reacts to the sound of the ice collapsing isn't random. There's rhythm to it, almost a sense of organization, that goes beyond the purely instinctive patterns seen in earlier seasons. The show subtly suggests that the infected are becoming smarter, or at least more coordinated. This idea is reinforced during the attack on Jackson. The infected group together, surround, choose paths, and launch an assault that feels more like a planned ambush than a spontaneous outbreak. Another standout moment is the appearance of a bloater, an infected in an advanced stage of mutation. Its body is covered in thick fungal armor, making it nearly immune to conventional attacks, instantly raising the physical threat level. But beyond its brute strength, its presence is symbolic. It shows how far an infected can evolve when it survives long enough. The bloater is the upper limit of transformation, the peak of biological horror. Its emergence during the Jackson attack also emphasizes the show's commitment to exploring the infection's many layers. This isn't just survivors versus monsters, it's humanity facing an enemy that's adapting, and quite possibly, learning. Episode 2 of Season 2 marks a definitive shift in the Last of Us narrative arc. Up to this point, the story was grounded in Joel's emotional legacy and his bond with Ellie. With his death, that foundation crumbles. From here on out, the narrative is no longer about protection. It's about consequences. The episode's structure is designed to set the stage for that transition. While showing the external chaos, with Jackson under attack and the infected threat escalating, it also lays bare the internal collapse of the characters. This duality is intentional. It reveals that destruction isn't just something that comes from outside, but also from within, from loss, from choices, from reactions. As Ellie heads down a path of revenge, and Abby begins to take on a clearer role, the show positions these two characters as opposing forces driven by the same instincts. The episode also redefines the show's tone. What was once a survival drama tinged with hope now becomes a story steeped in pain, grief, and personal justice. There's no room left for illusions. The characters know it, and so does the audience. From a storytelling perspective, the episode nails this shift with finesse. It doesn't rush the drama or force the transformation. Instead, it builds each event with intention, allowing every decision to carry weight. The result is a dense, decisive, and necessary episode, one that doesn't just adapt a pivotal moment from the game, but reinterprets it with maturity and purpose. What comes next is still uncertain, but one thing is clear. The Last of Us isn't here to tell a comfortable story. It's here to explore what remains of people when everything holding them together is stripped away. And this episode is the beginning of that journey. And that's a wrap, everyone. This episode was intense, packed with meaning, and officially marks a new phase for The Last of Us. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow, and of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to do that so you don't miss the next deep dives coming your way. On the end screen, you'll find our full analysis of the first episode of Season 2. If you haven't watched it yet, click over and continue this journey with us. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching!